What's up? It's Robert from Existence First, mental training for a modern world. Today's video is going to be about orientation. See, because just moments ago, I was looking at my computer screen, and in the bottom right-hand corner, the time was telling me that it was midnight. I very well knew that it was not midnight, and sure enough, I looked up at my stove and saw that it was 9 p.m. But I do admit, it tripped me out a little bit, and I did ask myself whether I was dreaming. And once I realized that I was not dreaming, then I felt good. I felt accomplished, that I successfully oriented myself in time, in relation to time. See, nurses and doctors have to do this with their patients to see how oriented the patient is to reality. So they test orientation to person, place, and time. They say, what's your name, what city are you in, and tell me what year it is. And if they say 1958, then you know they're not oriented to reality, at least in relation to time. So let's take this into the realm of psychology, my favorite. So earlier in the day, I came upon this feeling of a cluttered mind. It just felt like my mind was cluttered. And here's how I snapped myself out of it. I said, look, if my mind right now feels cluttered, if that's my current state of mind, then surely there was a different state of mind prior to it that somehow flowed into this current state of mind, which will at some point somehow flow into another state of mind. And by placing it in the context like that, I oriented my feeling in a timeline, in a context, and suddenly I no longer felt as dominated by my state of mind. See, it's kind of like if you're sitting in a movie theater, or let's say an opera where there's like a stage, and you're looking at the stage, watching the performance, and emotionally you totally get pulled in. It's just dominating your consciousness, the stuff that's going on stage. But what if you are part of the theater crew and you're standing off to the side of the stage, so you can see behind the curtain the backstage area, actors getting ready to go on stage. You can see the stage where the performance is currently being performed, and you can see the auditorium or the audience that's seated in their chairs watching the performance. By you being able to see all three segments, you will not be as dominated emotionally by what's going on stage, because it's placed in a context. I think it's kind of like we're essentially telling our state of mind, hey, you're not so important. There was one before you and there will be another one after you. So sit back down, because it's my turn to stand up and run the show. Last point, it's interesting, I looked up the word orientation to see sort of where it comes from, what's the etymology of it. And it appears to come from a Latin word that means to rise, to rise. So in the morning we rise, we orient ourselves, we go after the day. And not only that, I feel like orienting ourselves to reality is like putting on the armor before we go into battle. There's a lot of uncertainty in any given day. We wake up, we don't know what's going to happen, but we stand up tall, we take a step forward, and we, plunge into the uncertainty. But if we're well armored with orienting ourselves to our reality, who we are, where we are, and what we're doing, what our mission is, then I feel like we're well equipped and well protected to go fight that battle in the uncertainty and come out victorious on the other end. That's all for today. Think deeply and put your existence first.